everyone, Lisa here with a tutorial on how to take any of the planner templates inside the Pretty Fabulous Designs shop and turn it into a digital planner. Now, the fastest way is obviously to just purchase the digital planner template that I've already created for you, and then you don't have to do anything. However, two things. One, not every single template in my planner shop has been made into a digital planner. So for example, the weekly planner, there are like 6 or 7 different variations of the weekly planner, because you might want to pick and choose which one you want to use, or you might want to sell all 7 or 8 of them. And you might also want to make some changes to a lot of the wording. You might want to change the colors, the fonts, the logos, the layout, different pages, at which point, even if you had purchased the matching digital planner, you'd have to do it all over again. So today I'm going to show you how to take any of those and turn it into a digital planner. So we're actually going to take one of the monthlies, only because the monthly has less pages in it, but you can just rinse and repeat that process throughout the rest of the other planners for the weekly or the daily. And definitely ask me any questions below if you have them, but I'm going to switch the screen and we're going to get started. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Pretty Fabulous, and I help online businesses create beautiful digital downloads using Adobe Indesign. So if this sounds like you or something you might be interested in, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. I post new videos every day. All right, you are looking at the Fuchsia Monthly Planner for 2022. Now, there were 5 different planners available within the monthly planner pack. You only paid once and you got all 5 templates. This is the one that, 2 things. 1, we will be making into a digital planner, and also 2, the one that you can buy in the Pretty Fabulous Design shop as a digital planner in case you're like, I just want to see the end product and try to reverse engineer, see what you did. So I'm going to show you exactly what we do from start to finish. Now this planner is in Adobe Indesign. We are going to create some of those back pages for the digital planner inside of Adobe Photoshop. So you will need both applications. So over here in Photoshop, you are just going to go to New File. Now, New File, you are going to make this landscape, and we are going to change this to pixels, and the width is going to be 1336, and the height is going to be 960. Now, you are welcome to do anything else that you want, but we're going to do 300 pixels per inch. We're going to leave it RGB because it will be on an iPad. It's not going to be CMYK or anything else. And we're going to go ahead and say create. I'm going to turn this little lock feature off. I don't know why it's defaulted to on, but we're going to pick out a really nice background to stick here. So it could be, usually I try to pick something neutral. So knowing that it's fuchsia, I'm going to pick something kind of neutral. So I have this beigeish kind of sandy background. So you want something that's uniform and kind of muted. If you pick anything like, what's a good example? So if you pick anything too involved, like this, those liquid agate backgrounds that I have, one, they're pretty, but the planner is going to take up like 99% of the space. So you're not really going to see the colors, and it's going to look a little confusing that there's like teal and gold over here and then a light yellow over here. So this would be a bad choice. Another good choice would always be marble. Marble's kind of a generic background like this one. I think there's a little bit of this one's a little bit of a transparent background, so that one would work as well. So you could just add a couple different ones, and then as you get going, you could try them out and see which ones you like and leave that one. It's really up to you. It's kind of personal preference. You'll see once we get started, there's very, very little to see of the background. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to make plain white pages that are going to symbolize the left and the right pages of the digital planner. So there's a few different ways to make a digital planner. Some people just put some fake coils on the left. Some people put no coils at all. I think the Bloom Daily planners are always, they look like a real planner. It's not even like digital or clickable. So it's really up to you. I like to make mine look like a faux calligraphy planner. So we're going to go over here to the left, and we are going to select the rectangle. Now, if you don't see your workspace does not look like mine, just go to Window and go to Workspace and go to Essentials Default. In theory, it's the default and it should already be there. But if you share Photoshop with somebody else or you did another tutorial where they had it changed, you might have something different. So over here, we're going to just make 2 squares. We're going to make them, I don't even know. I kind of eyeball it. I know that's an awful way to do it. But if we go over to View and we go to Rulers, we can see where the midpoint is. So if I drag a line over here, I can see that what is 1336? Hey Google, what's 1336 divided by 2? Okay. All right, it's 668, so 668 is the halfway point. Yes, that's how I do math. 960. Hey Google, what's 960 divided by 2? All right, so this is kind of the midpoint. So it just gives me an idea of like what's the left, what's the right, the top, and the bottom. So let's go back to our rectangle and let's just draw a white page about out to, let's say here, and I'm going to change the fill to be white, and I'm going to remove the stroke, and then I am going to move this over a little because I need those coils to be on the left and the right, and I need room for the tabs on the right and the left. So already I can tell I'm not really into the pink one. The purple one looks a little too intense, so I probably want this more neutral background. So let's go ahead and make this bottom layer a darker color. So we're going to come over here to color overlay, and we'll make this maybe, I don't know, that blue might be a little too dark. And we had blue. I said it was fuchsia, right? So maybe we want more of like a pink background. That might be too much pink. Let's do like a gray. Okay, so it looks a little bit darker. Again, we can play around with it. We can take it out later. We can leave it back to a regular white. We could change this color overlay again to something else. Maybe I should stick with the blue. That's how I make my artistic decisions. So, all right. So this way I can at least see the contrast for these. So I'm going to just relabel this to right page, right, blank page. And we won't even actually use these pages. These are just there for a place marker for us so we can see them. And then I'm going to make another one. We're going to copy this and paste this over here. I'm just going to eyeball it. It's about in the middle. All right. So now I have my left and my right page, and in theory, I have a place where the coil can go. So if I head over and I grab a coil, again, the file's not going to go over with a coil, but if we wanted to place one on there just to see how it looks, we could grab one. I'm going to grab probably a gold coil. So this will go here. It's a little too. There we go. All right, so I can already see the pages are too far apart, so I'm going to pull them in closer together. And the best place to find coils, I've seen some tutorials where you make them yourself. Do not make them yourself. You can buy them for like $3 on Etsy. So just buy some coils, some faux coils on Etsy for $3 and be done with it. All right. Are these white? I think this is white. Yeah, it's white. Okay. So this looks kind of still too far away. And let's do this page. And let's relabel this. This is the left blank page. Trust me, this layers panel on the right, once you start going, you have a lot of stuff, you're going to just forget what's what. And if you don't know how to use Photoshop, the rule is whatever is on top is what you see. So usually on the other applications, you'll say order and you'll say bring to front or send to back. This, you don't do that. You just move them on the layers panel, and whatever is at the top goes on top of whatever is underneath it inside the panel. All right, so I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I think these are pretty close together, and that's kind of what I think will ultimately be when I'm done. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hide that gold coil because I really don't need it. So the way to hide and show things is right here with that little, I don't know if you can see, that eye. So you can toggle it on and you can toggle it off. Do you like that? It's my new magic, I don't even know what this is. It's some extension that I got from the store. The Pro Mouse. Because it is hard to see, I notice on the tutorials sometimes, like if I don't have that thing for you to zoom in. And I saw some other people doing that in their tutorial, and I was like, that is so cool. All right. I've taken 8 minutes to show you how to make pages. So let's go ahead and talk about how to make tabs. So to make tabs, you're going to have to do some math. And I know this actually hurts my brain a lot, so I don't like doing math. A couple things. First, let's take these left and right pages, and I'm going to hit Command T to transform them, and I'm actually going to extend them down. So I'm going to hold the Shift key and just extend them down so they come down a little further. Okay, maybe not that far. So I'm going to move them up with the arrow, and okay, I'm going to actually move them down again. Why is this so hard? There we go. They're a little bigger, and we're going to hide that coil again. All right, so because the bottom of the page, no one really uses that, so we're not going to put any tabs down there or any decorations, so we might as well bring the planner as close to the bottom as we can. All right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to measure this this rectangle. So if we just click it and click Create Rectangle, it's going to make one that's 890 pixels height. So hey Google, what's 890 divided by 12? 890 divided by 12 is approximately 74.17. Okay, so now I know, and the reason I did 12 is because I have January, February, March, April, May, June, right? So I have January through December. There are 12 tabs. We are going to make fake tabs. So again, we're going to go over here to this rectangle. Now I want to put kind of a curve on them. So over here, I'm going to make sure that's a curve, and I'm going to change this curve to, like, let's say a 5 for the edge. And now I am going to actually change the color, and we're going to go ahead. Let's just make it, whoops. I do not mean to make those blue. Let me unselect those. Now we are going to make this a blue, and this stroke transparent. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw out a rectangle. What did I say that was? 74. So I'm going to make it, so I'm going to align it here with the top, and I'm going to make it, so when you draw this, it'll automatically tell you the width and the height, and we want to make it about a 74. So it's pretty small, if you can tell. Why can't I make it perfect? Can't get that 74. It's 73 or it's 75. Let's see. Maybe if I make this. Aha, there we go. All right, so we've made one tab. And so now that we're closer up, you can see that it kind of has a rounded edge. So a couple things, we're going to label this. We're going to label this January right, because it's on the right side. So we want this to be underneath the white pages. That's perfect because we want it to kind of slide underneath. So we don't see the rounded edges of the bottom. We only see the rounded edges on the outside right here. And now that I see that it is like dark blue, probably hot pink and blue aren't going to go that well together. So maybe we can change this color to be more of that hot pink. So let's go back over to Adobe InDesign. Let's figure out what color this is. So all we have to do is go over here to the eyedropper tool and hit that. Oh, it's a gradient. So we'll just pick whatever the closest one is to that. Let's change this to a, oh, there we go. So this is 9E. Let's just copy this and go over to back to Photoshop, and we are going to change that fill to that color, that 9. Oh, let me show this. The 9E. We'll say OK. And there's our hot pink color. So the next one we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and say duplicate layer, and we're going to call this February, right? And in order for us to see February, we're going to have to do a couple different things. We're going to have to change this color. So usually I just do a white color to contrast with it. So maybe we could do instead like a really light pink. So it's not totally white. There we go. So now we have our second rectangle over here, our second month. And we're going to put that underneath because logically it's going to go January, February, March, April. So now I can take both of these. Well, actually this one I'll probably move it down a little. And then I'll take both of these and I'll say duplicate layers. And I will move these underneath. And you're going to run out of space here. So sometimes what you can do is just wait till those double arrows show up and try to pull this up. Yeah, we just don't have a lot of space. I have a lot of room on my screen, but because I'm trying to record this at 1080p, it's like all shrunk in, but that's okay. So we're going to do Option T to transform those, and we are going to move those so they're underneath. Oops. I'm just trying to move these two over here. There we go. And so we're going to rename this March, right? And we'll name this April, right? And then we'll take all 4 of these and we'll duplicate these layers again. And I'll Control T and we'll move these right down here. And same thing, we'll move these underneath here. It's a little tedious. So we're going to do May, right? June, right? July, right? August, right? Okay, now we still need to do 4 more. So we're going to take those last 4 and we're going to say duplicate. And again, we're going to move them underneath here and we're going to hit Command T to transform them. Let me zoom out so you can see. And we're going to move these down here. Okay, don't worry about the spacing. I know it looks weird. We're going to call this September, right? Or we're going to try to spell it right. September, right? We're going to do October, right? November, right? And December, right? All right, so now we have them all lined up. So all you have to do is take all of these, and it's a little weird because I know like the first thing you want to do is you want to select them on the actual canvas that you see. That would be incorrect. You want to select these layers over here on the right. So you're going to select all 12 of those months, and you're going to go up here to spacing. And first of all, you're going to make sure that they all align to the left. So they're all even. Then you're going to go over here and you're going to make sure that they're distributed left and right. So now we can see that they were all perfectly lined up. And because we did math in the beginning, which trust me, I am not a big math person, but we did our math in the beginning. So we had, what was it? The 882 or whatever it was divided by 74. Or divided by 12. So it came out to 74. So now we have these perfectly. Now doing the left side is way easier. All you have to do is take all of these. First of all, we're going to take all of these over here on the right, and we're going to put them into a little folder. So I don't know if you can see that down here. There's a little folder icon. I'm going to hit that, and then it automatically just swoosh them into that folder. So we're just going to call this right. Now, this is the easy part. You're going to right click on that, and you're going to say duplicate group, and you're going to call it left. How easy was that? Okay, so the left, you're going to see all of these over here, and we're going to do Control T to transform these, and we're just going to move these over here to the left. And we're going to move this so it is even, whoops, even with that white paper. So now we have ones on the left and we have ones on the right. So I think I still need to knock it down a little bit. Is that even? Yeah, I think that's even. It's kind of hard to see. All right, so we're going to assume everything, all is good. Everything is wonderful in the world. Now, the only thing I do that's a little different is sometimes if there is a button for like say home, or there is a button for, what else could there be a button for? I guess there's really not much there could be a button for. Goals or something else in your planner, you would put it up here at the top. We don't have one, so we're just going to create one button over here on the top left that says home, and we'll actually go ahead and create that now. So I'll take a rectangle, and you don't have to worry about size. Sometimes I even take a home icon. I think I've done that before and made that the home button, but we won't worry about that. We're going to make this a light color because the January up here is dark, and we're just going to put this right here. Actually, maybe we'll put it at the top left. There's not a lot of room. Let me zoom in because it's hard to see. All right, there we go. So that will be our home button. Let's go ahead and give it a little outline with the stroke. And 8's kind of crazy. We'll just do 1. And that will be our home button. We will go and add that later when we are inside of Adobe InDesign. All right, so the only problem here is these all say left, right, right, right. Probably didn't even need to write that. So we'll just double click this. And delete that so we don't get confused. And we're ready to start exporting this file. All right, so now all we have to do is zoom out of here. So I want to make sure that I have a sheet for January, February, March, April, right? So like in a normal planner, when you turn the pages, the first tab over here goes to the left and there's only tabs on the right. So just think logically, if I had a physical planner in front of me, what would it look like? So we're going to unselect all of the left so they're hidden. We're always going to leave that home button there at the top, which is over here. So let's rename this home so we know what it is. And then over here, we're actually going to unselect all of the right as well. So I'm going to do File, Export. And we're going to just leave these. I'm going to make this a JPEG image size preset. So we're going to export this. Sorry, my screen skipped. Leave it as JPEG. I'm going to click save, and then we're going to put it in this folder that I created called tabs, and we're just going to call it blank white sheets.jpg. And that's just in case we need inside of Adobe InDesign, we need some blank white sheets. So we're going to leave that. Now we're also going to take these white pages and delete them as well as the home button. And we're going to do File, Export for Web. And we're going to save this as the background only. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if I like that dark background. I might like the white one. So we'll come back over here to color overlay and we'll change this to a white again. And we'll just leave that a nice kind of white color. And I will save that again so it's in my new colors. Put this up so you can see it. So, oh, look at that. I can't even spell. Background only. And then we'll add back in the home button and the pages. And we'll do File, Export. And we will save this as blank white sheets. That should have been A. I don't know, it says 1. I will fix that later. So we're going to start saving out all of those tabs. So over here on the right, we're going to hit that little eye icon that you see over here. So now we can see everything on the right, January through December. And don't worry that they don't have words. We're actually going to add those into the other file. So we're going to export this, save this for web, and we're going to call this January. So now I'm going to use my numbering system. So I'm going to say 01 January. Save that. Now to move this over, what I'm going to do is I am going to toggle all of these off on the left except for January. And then over on the right, I am going to toggle only January off. So now it looks like if I had opened the planner that January is over here on the left and now I'm ready to do February. So I am going to go ahead and do File, Export for Web, and leave all these settings here. And we're going to change this to February. And the same thing, we're just going to keep going on down the line. March, and we're going to show March on the left, hide it on the right, export this over, And if you're wondering, the digital planner course inside of the shop is totally different than this. It has a different method where we only use Adobe InDesign. We don't use Photoshop. So you're learning a totally different method if you had already purchased that. And also, if you wanted to learn the Adobe InDesign only way, that's inside of the digital planner course. And what did I say? We're on June. And we're going to show June on the left, hide June on the right. And now we have July. Hide July on the right. So now we have August. And hide August on the left. So now we have September. And show October on the right. And show October on the left, hide it on the right. You getting the pattern of it? November and December. This is our last one because we don't have anything. If you had something behind December, I guess you would do that, but we've only made 12 tabs. Again, if you had tabs underneath, then we would do it, but we're done with this file. So I'm going to go ahead and save this file just in case I need it later. So we're done with Photoshop. We're done creating our tabs. So now we're going to head over to Adobe InDesign and we're going to create a brand new file. So I'm going to do File, New Document, and I'm going to use those same settings that I had before. For some reason, I thought maybe I had them in here. Yeah, here we go. Oh, 961. Why would I say 961? Let's just make that 960. All right, we're going to make this landscape. And then we don't need facing pages. We're going to make the facing pages. Like it's a faux kind of planner. So it's all fake, just the way that we're going to make it. So these aren't facing pages. It would be great if there was an application that would just take your facing pages and make them like a digital planner, but there's no such thing. The margins, we really don't care about the margins. And so the reason I say we don't care is because it's a digital planner. Nothing's being printed. Same thing, bleed, slug, just zero all of that stuff out because you don't need them. Now, for the number of pages, I don't know that the number of pages really matter. I would go ahead and leave it as, let's say, I guess you could do 26 pages. No, that's not right. You would only need whatever, 12 pages, 13 pages? No, 12 pages. 12 pages is what we need. So I'm going to go ahead and create 12 pages. So we have 12 pages down over here. The layers panel, we actually don't even need to see the layers panel. So I'm just going to get rid of that. So now we can see more of the regular pages. Now we do need master pages, which are here at the top. So if you're not familiar with Adobe InDesign, once you go to Window and you want to make sure that the pages has a check mark in front of it. Now, if you don't see that, or if your workspace does not look like mine, go over here to Window inside of Adobe InDesign, go to Workspace and go to Essentials Classic. The new Essentials is like super essential, like there's nothing there. I don't know why. I guess it's supposed to help you to be more utilitarian, but I like the Essentials Classic, and apparently so does everyone else because there were so many complaints. They just brought that workspace look and feel back. But okay, so over here, we're going to start making master pages. That's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to go down here to that little plus button. I don't know if you can see it over here. So where it says create new page, we're going to create a new page, but because we're in the master pages section, it's going to create a new master page. So over here, we are going to right click this and go to parent options, and we're going to make that same thing. Remember I said A was, I think background, was it background only? What did I call that? A was blank white page. Okay, so A was blank white page. So we're going to do blank white page, and then B was background only. All right, so we're going to go to that blank white page. Super easy. All you have to do is drag and drop that. So Adobe InDesign is pretty easy like that. So I'm actually going to make this a little smaller so I can see where I'm dragging and dropping. And I'm going to drag this page over here. So now what I have is a loaded cursor. I'm going to go here to the top left. Remember, they're the exact same sizes, the 1336 by 960, so it should work out perfectly. And then I'm going to double click over here to the background only, and I'm going to drag and drop this one over here too. And I am going to pull it out like that. So really easy. I kind of cheat. What I do is I right click on this and I say duplicate background only, and then I rename it. So parent options, and I'll say 01, and this will be January. And then I'll duplicate this one, and I will say 02, February. And I will duplicate this one, and I'll rename it under options, and I'll do March. I know what you're thinking. These are all backgrounds. Don't worry. We'll fix that in a minute. We just need to go ahead and put all these master pages out there. And I'm going to do 04, April. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, why doesn't she just say add 12 pages? Well, the reason we're not going to do add 12 pages is because I want this item here. It's going to make it easier. I don't have to drag and drop. I can just do a replace. So we have 05, May. I'm going to duplicate this. 06, June, and duplicate this. And I'm going to say 07, July. Okay, maybe not. I have a typo. Let's see, 07, July. All right, now we're doing it correctly. Duplicate this, and we are going to name this 08, August. Oh, I did it again. 08, August. And we're going to duplicate this. Parent options, 09, September. We are going to duplicate this, and parent options, 10, October. Just two more. Parent options, and we're going to do 11, November, and last one, we are going to change this to December. All right, all our master pages are almost done. So I'm going to go up here to January. I'm going to make sure I have the selection tool highlighted. I'm going to select that image, and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to drag and drop February in. So now you see, I don't have to size it. It makes it way easier. I'm going to go over to February, select that option, and then drag and drop February. Go to March, and I'm going to, whoops, let me make sure that's highlighted, selected, and I'm going to drag and drop March. Same thing with April, select that object, drag and drop April, May, drag and drop May, June, drag and drop June, July, gonna drag and drop July, August, gonna drag, and I have a Mac. I don't know, I have no idea what this looks like on a PC. I honestly haven't used a PC since I left corporate America, which I'm so thankful for. They came out with that new Windows, which looks like an app. It's awful. I could never figure it out. I'm so glad I don't have to use that. And there we go. And December. And we're done. Okay, all the master pages are done. So let's go ahead and go back in and we can start adding words. So we're going to go back up to January, and we're going to go ahead and hit the type tool. And again, this is really up to you what you want to use, but if we go back to the original file, we probably want to use the same fonts that they have inside of here. So over here, they have Saturday. So what you could do, well, one, we probably might want to save this file some point. So we can save this as monthly 22 digital. I'm going to save this as the monthly 22 digital planner template. And we are going to go over to the window, and we're going to go to color, swatches. So over here, I'm going to hit this line thing at the top right, and I'm going to say load swatches, if you can see that. And I'm going to load the swatches, not from the Self-Confidence Planner. I'm going to load the swatches from the monthly planner that was just open. We have to go all the way in through the back end to get it. So that was the fuchsia. And now I have all the same color swatches that I had over here. So the only other thing I need to do is check and see what fonts were used. So this is Railway. So really easy. We're just going to go ahead and use Railway again. I think that makes the most sense. So let's go back over to January, and I'm going to take a text box, and I'm going to try to, it's a little hard because it's this way. So I'm going to say Jan. These text boxes are so short and thin, you're not going to fit the whole word January on there without it looking pretty illegible. So what did I say that was? Railway. And I think it was Railway. We'll just do Railway medium. And we're going to take this and we're going to twist it so it is 90 degrees. And it is over here. So I can already see that this text box is wrong. So we're going to try to size it so it almost takes up all of the space that that red box takes up. Now, I'm going to change the font to center it in the middle of that box. And I'm also going to change the color of that font to white. That's not what I wanted to do. I meant the font, not the box that it's in. All right, now we're good. And then I'm going to go back to that type tool and I'm going to just increase this until it's pretty big. Now, January is a pretty small word. I think some of the other words, like maybe February, the B's are pretty big. So we're not going to go all the way to the edge. Probably, let's see, 24, 25 is probably good enough now that I see it. So we're going to take this, we're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it. And we're going to put it right next to it to make February. Now, obviously, white on that light pink does not look right. So we are going to change that font, hit the type tool, and we're going to make it that red color. So I'm going to make it FEB. So there we go. So now I'm going to copy these just like I did before and paste both of those and bring these over here. And I'm going to make this March. I'm going to make this April. And then I'm going to take these 4 text boxes, Control C, Control V, paste them all over here. And we're going to keep going. May, June, July, Aug. And then I'm going to hit Control V again to paste those other 3 that I just did, or those other 4. And we're going to change this to Sep, Oct, Nov, and Des. How is that? We are now perfect. So don't forget, we also have to do home. So I'm going to hit that text box. I'm going to make it, this one's easy because it's horizontal. I'm going to even it out and I'm going to write home. And I'm going to center this one too. So it's centered on the top and the bottom. And I'm going to change that font to, what did I say? Railway. Why am I forgetting this? Rail. And I said it was medium, and it was, I think it was a 24. There we go. And we're going to change this to be that dark red. So it's like a raspberry. So now it like kind of matches the outline of everything. So then when we need to go home, we can always hit that button. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start adding those pages in here. So we're going to take the pages from over here, from this file, and put them in here. So these are a left and a right file. Don't worry, we'll do the cover later. In fact, we can actually just go ahead if we wanted to and add the cover. We can right click on the cover and we can move that page. So move pages, and we can put it into that second document and before page 1. And we'll just say okay. All right, so now we have this page all by itself which I think this is an 8.5 by 11 page. So I don't know if we want that. We want whatever half of 1336. I'm so bad at math. What is half of 1336? 1336 divided by 2. Okay, so we want a page that's 668 across, divided by 960 divided by 2 by 480 tall. So that's the size page we want for the. Come over here to the master pages again, and we're going to insert a new master page. So we'll say new parent, and this time we will specify those numbers that I just said, which are 668, and the height is 480. Wait, is that right? No, the height would still be the same. What is wrong with my brain? Okay, it is half the width, the same height. So we're going to call this cover. And I'll say, okay, all right, now we have the cover. So we're going to apply that to that first page over here. So we applied this to the cover. So use parent page size. There we go. So now we can see that it's a little smaller, and that's what we want. So we're going to do view over print preview so we don't see that weird box thing. And don't worry, we'll come back and we'll fix this. Or we can just fix it now. So we'll use a rectangle. So remember over here, because this was being printed out, it just needed to have some stripes on it. For this one, we are going to make this a box like so. And we're going to put some boundaries on it. So one, we are going to put we're going to make it that red color. And we're going to make it a couple inches, maybe like a 3, 4, probably a 4 looks okay. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, we'll do a 4. And then for the corners, we'll make them rounded. There we go. So now it kind of looks like a notebook. So a couple things. These are just stripes, so we'll have to pull this out just a little further. So these look okay. There we go. And then we'll put a coil on this too. So we might take all of this over here, move it over to the right a little. And then when we add a gold coil over here, so now I have a loaded cursor. When I add my coil, it should kind of look like it's hanging off the edge a little. So there we go. That is our cover. And the background, so we'll probably just have to take that background that we had from before, that background only, and we'll lay it over here. And it's obviously too big for this, so we'll just leave it out like that. And we'll resize it so it's over here. And we'll actually, let me cut that and put it on the cover master page. Paste in place. There we go. So now when we go over here, now I can see that background. And it looks perfect. So we'll worry about the back cover at the end when we get there. All right, so let's go back to where we were. So I was going to start adding those pages from over here. So we added the cover. So really easy. Let's go ahead and add January. So this is the left page. So I'm just going to copy everything. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paste it onto where I see this white page stuff. So let me try to do a paste in place and see what happens. All right, so it's kind of lined up where I want it to be. So I'm just going to leave that there. And then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy this. So it's really easy. This is just a copy and paste job on the left and the right. In fact, I wonder if I can copy and paste both pages at the same time. I doubt it. That might be too much. Let's see, copy, paste in place. Oh, look at that. Look how fast that is. So all you have to do, this one actually worked out really well. Usually they do not work out this well, just so you know. I usually have to resize a lot, but because there's just not a lot going on these pages in terms of design, it's pretty easy. Sometimes with the design, especially with the pop-up shop planners, there's a lot of work to do, and it takes quite a while. So copy this, paste in place. here. And I have to tell you, like, ever since I upgraded my computer to have the cheese grater Mac, it's made such a huge difference. Before, doing this just this simple copy and paste would take forever. Like, it's going lightning fast right now. Never would have happened before with my laptop. Although with the new MacBook Pros, I know they have a lot of RAM and they have a lot of processing power. So maybe those are better, but I still love my desktop way better than any of those. Plus, honestly, like right now, it's hard for me to do this because I have such limited screen real estate. And, you know, doing a laptop, even if I'm out and about and I know they have the new, I think it's like a 16-inch, it's still just not enough space for me, like enough screen size. I really just like having my 2 XDR monitors. And I had complained about them before because I had wanted to get one of those ultra wides, but I ended up keeping them. 1, they're ungodly expensive, and 2, I noticed that since I switched from using the ultra wide that I had before, which lucky knocked over onto, they're like really, I guess, sensitive, or who knows how sensitive these are, but it broke. It was totally ruined. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll get the I think it was the 48-inch ultra wide. But I noticed that all of my headaches went away when I switched over to these XDR monitors. So I'm kind of worried, honestly, if I went back to a regular ultra wide, that my headaches would come back. And I think it's because, or who knows, maybe I'm just telling myself that because each of these monitors were $5,000 and then the stands to hold them were another $1,000. So it was like $12,000 for monitors. So maybe I'm just telling myself that to be like, I don't have headaches. Like, that's what I paid $12,000 for. All right. Okay, we're done. Do you see that? I'm all chatty and now we're done. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Where are the tabs and where are the coils? So 2 things we're going to do. First, we're going to assign master pages to each of these sheets. So this is January and then this is February. So to assign master pages, it's really easy. You just drag and drop them on top. And once you drag and drop them, you can see it says 03 March applied, 04 April applied. You can also right click these and you can, I guess you can't right click them. I was going to say, I thought I could just add a master page, but I guess it's just drag and drop. So this is 5 and this is 6 and this is 7, goes on 8. And remember, this is because the numbering's a little off because we had that first page as the cover page. And there's August, there's September, there's October, November, December, and then we'll duplicate this last spread. So the cover, so now we have the cover end. So usually at the end, I just like to put nothing. It's just like kind of the end. So we're going to take this and we are going to transform it. So we're going to flip it horizontal. There we go. And we're going to move this over here. So it's going to be faux like it's closed. And we're going to take all of these things and we're just going to scoot them over here to the right. And we're going to take that coil out to the right a little. And now it looks like it's the back of the planner. So we are pretty much done. We're in the home stretch right now. So January is here. And I know what you're thinking. The other dates aren't labeled. Don't worry about that. We're going to add those coils in the middle first. So I'm going to add this golden coil. I don't know why the screen went black. All right. We are going to add that faux coil. So again, it's kind of just like, I kind of eyeball the first one. And that's why we had that coil, even though we didn't use it on the other ones, just so we could see it. And in case this one, it doesn't really matter because the months are so like far to the right and the left and there's plenty of space. But other ones, like there's a lot of stuff underneath the coils, but we're going to take this and we're just going to say paste in place on each page. And this is also in case whoever uses this wants to add stuff in. Maybe you want to add goals in there, or you want to add a habit tracker at the bottom, or you want to add gratitude space, or you want to add a quote, or you want to add images. Like there's so many things you could do with these to really individualize them. And we're just going to keep going all the way down. I know this is a really long tutorial, but it's actually really short when you think about it. Okay, so the digital planner course, I divided all of these little steps into like 3-minute videos, so it goes a lot quicker. But because this is YouTube, we're just going to do everything from start to finish. All right, so now we have everything. So now I know the question is, okay, well, how do we get the rest of the letters on there and how do we get hyperlinks? So go up here to the top to InDesign, go to Preferences and go to General. Now over here where it says page numbering, if there's a drop-down list, most likely yours is defaulted to absolute numbering because that makes sense. Absolute numbering means it's going to number your pages from 1 through infinity, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the most logical thing. However, if you're me, it's always defaulted to section numbering, which if you does not change that to section numbering right now, page numbering, view, change this to section numbering. If you do not have section numbering, this will not work. Say okay, and you are done with that piece. So now we're going to go over here and we're going to number these pages. So this section right here, so go back to your cover. We are going to right click this and go to numbering and section options right here. Now inside of here, what you're going to do is you are going to start page numbering at 1. So you're going to leave that. And then over here for page numbering prefix, you are going to put, for just this home page, you're going to put 0 dot. And then over here, section marker, 0 dot. And then you're going to say include prefix when numbering pages. And then you are going to go ahead and say okay. So over here for January, you're going to right click this and then again, go to numbering and section options, start page numbering at 1. You're going to have to change that. Section prefix will be 1 point. And then same thing, 1 point. So in theory, and then say include prefix when numbering pages, if you add more pages onto this, so this is a monthly planner, but you could add some weekly pages, you could add daily pages. So this is page 1.1. We'll see that when we say okay. And then the next pages after that will be 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, etc. However, because there are no other pages in here, we're just going to go to February and we're going to go to numbering and sections, start page number at 1, and we're going to make this 2 dot. And you're just going to rinse and repeat that all throughout that whole process. Numbering and sections, start page at 1, 3 dot. And this is probably the easiest one because it makes most logical sense when you are doing months, that there are 12 months and each month starts with a 1. So usually if I have sections before that, like a goal setting, I'll start the numbering section at A, B, C, or D, some other kind of nomenclature other than numbers, so that I know if I have a dated planner that the numbers correspond to the months of the year. So we're just going to keep going down the line and do this all the way through. Numbering in sections, start at 1, 6 dot. And if you've ever taken any of my how to edit the digital planner course, you'll notice this is why I'm always like, this is how you add pages. Make sure it's afterwards. It includes the section number and the master page option so it knows what section to go into. And this is important for when we start creating the hyperlinks for that digital planner. And bring in section options. We're almost there. I know it's a lot of rinse and repeat. I was going to forward through these sections, but I think in case you miss something, because I do talk fast, you can catch it on these repeats because we just keep repeating everything over and over again. So you can never say I didn't show you everything because I really showed you everything. And last one. And unlike before where the cover had its own section, the last page doesn't need its own section. It's the last page. There's nothing to do there. So Now we have everything numbered in sections. So now we're going to go back over here to January, and we are going to add in, first of all, home. We're going to select this, and we are going to right click on this, and we're going to hyperlink this. So we're going to say new hyperlink, and we are going to say, so there's an option to go to a URL. We're actually going to go to a page. So even though hyperlink, you always think of page or to a website, we're going to just hyperlink this to a page. Now, what page? It is a page that we have created. So you can see the first default page. You can see all those different page numbering sections. We're going to go to 0.1, and it's going to be fixed, and we're going to say OK. It is now hyperlinked. We're going to go over here to January. We're going to right click, go to hyperlink, new hyperlink, same thing. And now it's defaulted to page now that we changed the first one. And this is going to go to January because that's January. And we're going to keep rinsing, repeating that whole process till we get all of these done. And we'll go to March. And this will obviously hyperlink to section 3.1. And again, you had to create those numbering in sections first before you do the hyperlinks. Otherwise, you wouldn't see them to hyperlink to. So it's a little confusing sometimes. Like, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? And over here. And I know it's off the page because I'm just running out of space. But just so you know, I am right-clicking on this. I'm going to hyperlink and new hyperlink. See, this is why you need a nice big screen so that you can have everything on one screen. I've tried it where I try to share my whole screen, but when I do that, it's like itty bitty teeny tiny to you on YouTube, like what you can see. So I don't do that anymore. So now I just change it, the dimensions to be 1080p. And then if you can't see something off screen like this, then you can't see it, but it's just for a few things. We just have a couple more. Hyperlink. October. And we only did one of these, so we don't have to do hyperlinks over and over again. When you copy and paste a text box, it keeps that hyperlink within it, so you don't have to re-hyperlink it again. And this is going to go to 12.1 because 12.2 is the back page. And we're going to say OK. All right, so what we need to do is make this a little smaller so we can zoom out so you can see it. We're going to take that home text field. I'm going to copy that, and we're going to go over here to the blank white page and paste that. Whoops. We're going to say paste to place. So it is right there at the top. That's the only place that has that hyperlink on this page. So that's all we had to do. Now we're going to go back to January, and this is really easy. You're just going to go ahead and say Control A to copy everything. You're going to hold the Shift key, unselect that background because we don't need to re-copy and paste the background on every page. And we're going to go to February, and we're going to say paste in place. So everything is going to just be pasted right where we need it to be. The only catch is, oh, I see. I'm just kidding. I only selected home. Hold on. Control A. And let me do Control C. And let's try this again. Let's paste in place. There we go. Okay, so the only thing that's out of place is the January. So we're going to take January, we're going to move it over here to the left, and we are going to make it vertical. So it is going the right direction. So if you're ever worried, this is how usually you can tell novice people who aren't sure what to do with planners. The text inside a planner always reads on the inside. Anytime it reads on the outside, it doesn't make sense because you're reading in like the Roman alphabet. You read from left to right. And if I take the text and I turn it outwards, now I'm supposed to read left to right for this little bit and then switch over here left to right. So it's going right to left. It's going the wrong direction. I don't know if that made sense, but always have it facing inward, not outward. So now we're going to go ahead and we are going to say Control A to select all. I'm going to unselect that background. I'm going to hit Control C, and then I'm going to go to March, and I'm going to say paste in place. And then over here, I am going to take that February, move it over. And again, I'm going to have to move it so it's all the way over here. Oops, 90 degrees. And move it in place. And I'll do Control A again, unselect that background, hit Control C, and then paste in place for April. So as you can see, it's kind of like once you get set up, once you kind of understand the format, this just kind of becomes busy work to set up these digital planner hyperlinks using InDesign. And I know it's crazy to me that people will use Keynote to set this up. I feel like that would take forever. Keynote or I think I saw someone trying to make a digital planner in Adobe Excel and Microsoft Excel the other day. It's like, that sounds like a nightmare. But I get it. Sometimes like you just only know how to use things like me. I don't know how to use Windows. I kind of only know how to use Mac. So if I had to do something in Mac, I would probably just try to jerry-rig it so I only had to do it in, or if I had to do something in Windows, I would probably try to jerry-rig it so I could just do it in Mac and not in Windows. In fact, my last company, we had to use Instant Messenger, and it was only available on Windows, and there was like this weird beta version that was available on Mac, and it never really worked right, but I kept trying to make it work because I just hated the thought of having to use Windows. I just wanted to use my Mac all the time. And just so you know, we're only doing these on the master pages. We're not doing these on the regular pages. And the reason is because when you do them on the master page, it will just show up on the regular page. And then if you add extra pages after this, you'll want to make sure it has those hyperlinks from the master page. You won't want to have to recreate these hyperlinks and copy and paste them over and over again. That's why we just put them only on the master page. And it's probably a good idea. I don't even know what my save settings are. These take forever. It's probably a good idea once in a while to hit the Control S for save button, just in case your computer crashes, which can happen. Or you get the weird spinning beach ball of death. Nothing worse than the beach ball of death, right? Oh, my posture, do you see that? I like start sinking down. I can like hear my mom telling me to straighten up. All right. Almost there. Sometimes these act a little weird. I start these too late. There we go. Here's October. Look at that, we're almost there, just 2 more. And I will show you how to test out your file too. When you're done, you can test it in InDesign, but I like to test it out in Adobe PDF because that's what, in Acrobat, Adobe Acrobat, because that's what most people are using. And obviously you should test this out on your iPad, but 99, I'm like, not even 90, I'm 100% positive if it works on Adobe Acrobat, it's going to work on inside your iPad on GoodNotes or any of those apps. And look at that. We're done. Okay, so we're going to save that file in case anything awful happens. And then we're going to go over here. So now to save this file out and send it to people, we're going to do File, Export. And you're going to make sure when you export this, you export it as Adobe PDF Interactive. So there are 2 options, Adobe PDF Print and Interactive. Print will not save any of those hyperlinks. Interactive is the only one that will have it, well, interactive, so those links will work. So we're going to go ahead and save that. Most of your defaults should just work fine. You're going to export these as pages, compression. Usually I just say I leave it automatic, resolution 144. You could actually probably go a little higher on this one because this is such a small file. There's not a lot of data there. Sometimes like with those other pop-up shop planners, there is a ton of data, so you don't want to do that. And then you're just going to go ahead and say export. and it's going to generate each of those pages and links. Obviously, if you have a huge file, this takes a while, or if you have an older computer or not as much processing power, it'll take a while. And we're done. Okay, so this is Adobe Acrobat. This is, I don't know why it makes it so big. I think it's trying to fill up my whole screen. So we're just gonna delete that and make this 67%. All right, let me make this smaller so you can see it. All right, so an easy way to test this out is that every single thing inside here should work. So you can see the mouse already changed to a little finger for a hyperlink. So it's going to take me there, take me back to home. This should take me to March, November, April, September, May. So you just want to test all of these out, make sure they all work. And as you know, because we copied and pasted those hyperlinks, once you test the right side, the left side should work fine, but you can double check just to be sure if you're extra paranoid. But there we go. That is all you have to do to make a digital planner using Adobe Photoshop and Adobe InDesign. And obviously, one of my templates, we didn't show you how to do a layout. It's been an hour. So clearly, if we did layouts, this would be like a 3-hour tutorial. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you're super psyched about making your own digital planner. And if you want to buy this one that we just created, it is in the shop. I will leave it for you for 50% off. There is a link below. I hope everyone's having a fabulous day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.